Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for agreeing to be interviewed over Zoom on this Saturday afternoon. Um, Mike, we would really love to hear your story, your faith journey, about how you came to faith and what difference being a Christian makes to you in terms of your identity and how you weather the trials of life. So could you tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to faith?
Yeah, sure. I came to faith pretty slowly because I grew up in a house where my father came from Northern Ireland. He was a Protestant, a non-church going Protestant, but he was a political Protestant. He'd also lived in Africa during the Second World War, and he was a man of biased opinions. Um, and strangely, he used to send us to Sunday school. But then he would harangue us with monologues about the evils of Catholicism and black people and things like that. And a, a it was a difficult for me as a small boy because I didn't agree with him, and we yeah, it was difficult to argue against your father because your identity is formed within the situation you grow up. I even, when I was 9 years old, I marched in an Orange Order march in Northern Ireland, not knowing what I was doing. But the Sunday school teachers obviously conflicted with my father's opinions, and it left me disillusioned really with the concept of political religion really. And as I grew older, I walked away from prejudice and hatred and developed a more humanistic philosophy. My opinions were further reinforced by further other visits to my family, and the last time I saw them was when I had quite an argument with members of my own family at one of my aunt's funerals. I couldn't stand the bigotry. So I kind of moved away, although I did have some feelings for church because Sue and I got married in St. Michael's 52 years ago. So, there was something still there. Then, about 30 years ago, um, um, two children of friends of ours died. They both had cancer. One died at 17, Lindsay, and the other died at 24, Richard, who actually worked for me at the time. And their approach to their impending death was one of courage. Um, they 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 both believed in God. They believed in Jesus, and they both died horribly and bravely, without complaint. Except Lindsay wished she'd always had a boyfriend. but, but that was it. And for me, it was a turning point. Um, I mean, if these two beautiful young people could express their love of Jesus, you know, there must be a way for me. And so this was what I was searching for, and I slowly engaged and become baptized in 2007. So
And
that's my.
So was this a baptism at St. Michael's Church?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And what do you think changed since that day?
Since my baptism,
Yeah.
um, I think what changed me really is that I didn't need to be um, so self-sufficient. I had somebody else I could go to, and so I could go to Jesus. I could go to Jesus with my troubles, and I could hand over my troubles to Jesus. And
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 what does that look like, Mike, when you say you could go to Jesus with your troubles? What did that look like? What does it look like?
Um, it was a great weight lifted off of me, because being a normal man from my background, you were supposed to be without without feelings. You were supposed to be able to deal with everything that life threw at you, and you weren't supposed to have emotions or show emotions. And I, I was able then to take a great sigh of relief and know that I could just be me, and and live my life, hopefully in the way that Jesus taught us to live our lives. Yeah.
You mentioned how the death of your two friends had a real impact on you. Their faith had a real impact on you. How has your faith helped you in the trials that you've experienced since you committed to Jesus?
It's all about being able to bear the pain without blaming anybody else, because kind of traditionally and within my background, any troubles would always belong to somebody else. You would always point your finger at somebody else for your problems. But it's learning to accept the pain, learning to accept that it's there's no one else to blame, and learning to forgive people that do things badly too.
Mm.
And it's the forgiveness side which has been the greatest gift to me, to be able to forgive. That's been the greatest gift to me.
Amazing. It's so encouraging hearing your story, and I know that we've shared a meal with you and Sue, and we were just so taken by your humility and how open you were about the difference that Jesus has made in your life. Have you got a sense of what he might be saying to the church in this time of trial?
Well, I think again, I think it's in the time of trial. It's to give your troubles to Jesus. I used to tell a story when I worked at Glastonbury Festival as a volunteer, and I used to say, "Come and meet my friend Jesus. He's got a big rucksack, and you can put everything in there you don't want, and you can be forgiven." So there was this image of Jesus walking around Glastonbury, receiving the troubles of the whole of Glastonbury. And that's how I still see it, is that, okay, we're faced with a problem which is frightening for a lot of people, and it's concerning for everyone. And at this very moment, my own daughter has to have a test for COVID-19, and she works as a frontline nurse. But I think that God is aware that the church continues to care one for another, while we ensure that we carry out our protection systems. I feel that almost instinctively the church has responded to the word of God, and that with your committed leadership and Richard's leadership, we will form a stronger bond through this hardship. I think we will become a stronger church.
Yeah.
And I think it's to be together and to share our problems, and
Great.
to accept that life can be tough sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a sense of being authentic in community, but also depending on one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've loved chatting to you, probably the highlight of my afternoon. So thank you so much.